Good evening, and welcome back to Poetry Readings with Alexandria New. I did give you guys some time to ask me some questions and leave your comments and let me know what you think of the poems. I did get a few questions, indeed, so I wanted to go through them and see if I can answer them the best that I can for you. So, let's dive right into it, shall we? So my first question was to ask if I've ever been through any of these experiences myself. And I'll have to say that I have not only been the person feeling these different experiences, I've also been the person issuing the experience. So I've been caught into situations or caught in relationships where I engage with someone because I find them to be so attractive, and throughout the relationship, I don't really see them for more than what they physically present. And what usually happened for me in these type of relationships is that I would end up getting to know the person and realizing that I don't really like them as much as I thought I did, and I end up going through the motions of just trying to maintain the relationship, but I don't feel as if I could invest myself in that person. So I would imagine it's kind of similar on the other end with maybe other people. You get to know someone based off of what they look like, and once you get to know them, it's not what you expected, and it's definitely not something that you're looking forward to staying in or pursuing, and you hold on for reasons that you can't explain, but eventually, like I said, the relationship for me usually crumbles and it doesn't go forward. Another way that I am a part of the experiences, I've been in relationships where I literally just tell the person what they want to hear. For me, this is usually the phase in the beginning of the relationship where I know that once again I'm physically attracted to this person and I want to be able to get to the next level with them. So whatever you want to hear, I'll tell it to you. So I've been in that situation as well. And as far as, noticing someone or stalking someone to the point as to where they feel as if, I'm obsessed with them, I've never been that type of person to do that with someone in that way. Have I ever had someone obsessed with me? Definitely not. I've never had that happen. Usually when I get to the point of someone giving me attention that I don't want, I typically try to let them know that I don't want the attention. It's never gotten to the point where it's become like life-threatening or anything like that. But finally, have I ever had the opportunity to love someone for who they are, even if I'm not with them or even if I'm with them? So yes, I've been in love in that case, in that scenario a few times. I'm definitely not the type of person to completely shut someone out regardless of what our situation is. At one point in time we were very close. You were my go-to person, so I can't just cut you off, regardless of whatever the differences that we've had in the past. I have a tendency to move past it, but that's something I had to learn as I got older, because I definitely went through that phase where I was just like, forget this, I'm done, I'm never going to talk to you again, that type of stuff. But as you get older, you start to realize that not everything has to be so cut and dry. Like, not everything has to be like black and white. You can learn to maneuver while you're doing certain things. So Not every interaction has to have some divine purpose in your life. It doesn't have to mean some divine happening in your life. You learn that. So, sometimes, you interact with people and it doesn't mean anything anymore. But the things that you shared once in the past, they will always be significant. So you don't hate them. You just learn to, at least I learned not to hate them and just to move on and live life to the best of my ability, and that's planting a seed. So you plant a seed of love in their lives, and you just let them know that if ever there's anything I can do to support you or help you in some way, I'll definitely do my best to do that. So, and that's just how I view it. That's how I see it. Okay, so my second question that I got was, what does love mean to me? Interesting stuff. What does love mean to me? Love comes in so many different forms. So this question was really general. So initially when I answered it, I thought that it should come from a place of a romantic relationship, but I wanted to address it differently on here. Love is something that typically, to me, means to care for someone unconditionally. And to care for someone unconditionally, you have to have an understanding of that person to some degree. That being said, I do think love is all about give and take, and love is definitely the way you handle different things that another person brings to the table. So love is something that can be very beautiful when done correctly, and very accepting when done correctly. So for me, love is just the unconditional act of caring for someone, no matter what. The next question stems from, how do you know if a man is truly in love with you? Well, I want to take this question to say, how do you know if a person is truly in love with you? You'll know that a person is truly in love with you if they can handle what it is that you bring to the table. And when I say that, I don't mean, because it's also a two-way thing. So you will also have to be handling what they're bringing to the table as well. Not everybody comes to you made up perfect and packaged nicely. Everybody has to grow. And that is a big thing when you find partners that you want to be with. You have to accept that there is going to be change within you, and there's going to be change within your partner, because that is something that love does. But you're not going to be there trying to force change. And the reason I say you're not going to try to force change is simply because you want it to happen on its own. You want it to be a growing process for you and that person. And usually what happens is, once you or the other person realizes that they can be themselves with you, they can grow and they can do these things and not have to worry about being judged or being put down or anything like that, they tend to open up more, and they tend to start to feel more about you. And this grows into a type of true love or unconditional love, because the acceptance is there. So the next question that I received was, why do women devote themselves to men that they know don't feel the same way about them? So I'm going to change that around and just make it general. Why do people sometimes devote themselves to others that don't feel the same way about them? Well, usually what happens, like I said, is usually when people realize that they can offer someone their love, they know that they're planting a seed in their life. It's up to that person that you're offering this love to allow it to grow the way you like it to. Because, if you're planting in my garden, I'm not going to let you come and plant pears if I don't want pears from you. If I don't want your pears, that's not going to happen. But if I want your oranges, I'm going to make sure I get them. And that's kind of what it is. You can't really force someone to feel what you're feeling. You can only let them know how you feel. And once that is done, the person will either reciprocate or they will let you know, well, this is not where I'm at right now, especially with you. And most of the times, in order to understand exactly where you're standing with someone, is there has to be communication. So for me, love definitely stems from understanding, growth, and communication. These things are something that is definite when it comes to dealing with love in its entirety. So in regards to you loving someone that is not giving you the same type of attention, then you need to ask yourself, is this really the type of love that I want to be showing to myself? Because if you're forcing someone else to see what it is that you can bring to the table, then you're trying too hard to make the seed grow the way you want it to grow. You may have to stand back and accept the fact that this is how this person feels. And if you truly love that person, you will do that in all aspects of it. If this person is telling you that they're not interested in you in a romantic way, then there's no reason why your love can't be shifted to a different outlet in regards to the relationship you hold with that person. So if you really care about them, it should not affect you if they say, look, I just want to be friends, or hey, I'm not ready for a relationship, or I never really saw you as being like my type, or my boyfriend or my girlfriend or anything like that. You should accept that, because that means that person is honest enough to not tell you what you want to hear. They care about you enough to let you know that where you're at is not where they're at. And that is respectful. At the end of the day, that is the ultimate thing that you would want to have when you have a relationship with anybody. Even if there's no love involved, you would want to have a level of respect. So definitely, sometimes you have to step back and reevaluate, because love can be different things to different people. And you have to understand exactly how different people express and share their love. Let's go through this last question. And this question is basically asking, so why do we miss the truth? Now, this question I also feel can go both ways, because sometimes we completely miss that person that loves us unconditionally, right? And we end up going for the guy that you're not too sure about, like, oh my gosh, does he really love me? I don't know. And then you go to this other case where you completely miss the signs that this person does not love you. Like, it goes right over your head, and you're just completely blinded by your love. Okay, you're convinced you can love them into your relationship, and that really doesn't end well when that does happen. So we usually miss the signs because we don't want to accept the things that we've seen. We usually miss the signs also because we don't communicate. People have different ways of showing love. So when I say that, I mean, you may like to give and receive gifts. I may like to tell you, say it. And that's how I know to show love. This is how you know to show love. But because we've never talked about it, when I see that I'm giving you gifts, and you're not giving me gifts in return, you're only telling me, oh my God, I love you, I love this. You're feeling unsatisfied. So you're completely missing the truth in this situation, because this person is telling you that they love you because that is the strongest, most important thing to them. And they're looking for you to say it back, but instead you're buying gifts. But you're buying gifts because that is the strongest way for you to show that you love this person. And so when it's like that, and you don't have these open conversations, and you don't learn to understand what love means to your partner, it starts to get confusing. So you definitely need to be with your person You need to be able to sit down, and when they say, oh, I'm gonna do this way, you need to understand, well, why would you do it that way? Like, tell me, what's the reason that you would take that route instead of taking this route? Because you need to know. You need to understand how they operate, so that when they start to show you love, you can say, okay, I either like this or I don't like this. You can let them know that I understand that this is what this means to you. This is how I see it. How can we work on this so that it can be mutual between the two of us? We can both express our feelings on a similar or on the same page. And you want to do this because it's so important for you not to feel left out in your own relationship. You want to be involved in some way. You want to be able to say that, I grew to be this person because of you. And it's not in a bad way. You're literally growing to be this person because you've taken the time out to love them. So you're back to it again. You're planting your seed. You're watching it grow. And upon watching it grow, you realize that you become something that the plant needs. You're not like, it's not like a wild plant anymore. This is like a plant you have in your garden. So when it's not raining, you can water it. When the sun's not out, you can put it under a UV light or something. I'm not really sure. I'm not a gardener. But I'm just giving a general example to say, like, once someone is accepting of you doing these things, it becomes easier for you and them to grow together. Once you have an understanding of how it is that you love each other and the things that you do to express love towards each other, you can grow differently. So, yes. So, if there's any more questions that you guys have or any comments you would like to make, you can definitely comment below. Or subscribe, follow, do whatever you like the video, share it with your friends, and let me know if you have anything else that you would want me to give you my thoughts and opinions on so that we can get deeper into the series. So with that being said, I just want to thank you guys for asking your questions. Feel free to DM me if you don't want everybody to know that you're asking what you're asking. That's fine by me. I'll still make it a point to answer it as best as I can. And look out for the new series that I'm bringing out shortly. It's called the Heartbreak Series, and it's still love experiences. So this would be things that you go through when love doesn't quite work out the way you expect. So look out for that, and definitely follow along and tell me what you think. So thank you for stopping by, and good night.